Hello and welcome to my very first online class. Very happy to be here and doing this course through Schoolism. We are going to learn about doing basically rendering reflective surfaces. And so let's jump right into it and get started. So I'm going to start out with this image, and this is from my one of my upcoming educational books, but I thought it was a good place for us to start. Before we can start to render things in Photoshop and render reflections, we have to first understand the physics behind them, and it's going to make doing our renderings significantly easier. Unfortunately, that means we have to go through a lot of perspective constructions this very first lesson so we can understand where to put the reflections before we start to figure out what value and color they should be and how to render them in Photoshop. So today's lesson is going to be all about understanding the incident angle of our line of sight and how that affects where the reflections of the environment are placed on our shiny object. This is a note I'll give you in your folder this week. You can download this and then read through it to review the notes. I'm going to talk about it all verbally, but you have it there. So the most important thing this week is all about the angle of incidence. The incident angle, you can zoom in on this guy. In fact, I have this singular image also in a higher res for you this week. So let me just open up that. So if this is a reflective mirror, this vertical mirror, and this guy is standing here looking into that mirror, this red line represents that viewer's line of sight. And when we take a picture, that would be essentially our camera. And so the line of sight comes along, bounces into this reflective surface, and the angle of that line of sight entering into that reflective surface is called the incident angle. So this is a mirror, and that measured angle is the incident angle. Then what happens is that red line, as it bounces off of this shiny reflective surface, becomes the blue line, and it bounces out and points at something in our environment. That is the incident angle out of the mirror. And the most important thing to get out of this week's lesson is that those angles are equal. So incident angle into the mirror here, out of the mirror here. Most important thing, the angles are equal. All right, back to this one. So a little short way to quick way to remember that, equal in, equal out. Okay, that means that if I was looking at the side view of this illustration, this photograph, and I was looking at the side view of the roof of this car, and let me grab a little brush here to illustrate with. Okay, and I can see this sign right here. Here's the reflection of that sign right there. Okay, so if I had a side view of this car, let me just draw it small down here just to make a little quick thumbnail illustration. There's the section of the car. Our camera is over here somewhere, our eye. We look into that surface, and then it's going to bounce out of that surface at the same angle, and somewhere along the line there's the sign, so there's where the reflection of the sign would go. Right, so incident angle in and then out, most important, those things are equal.